Welcome to the Munchkin Minute, your bi-weekly look into some tabletop gaming news and more. I'm your host, Dan, the Board Game Man, and this is your news for April 29th, 2024. So, first up, obviously, please excuse my voice. I've got a bit of a cold or some allergies or something. I'm fighting some crud, so hopefully everybody can understand me and I don't bust out into too much Barry White singing before the end of the show. So, first up, Unexpected Games is going to release The Mandalorian Adventures. This will be out in August. This should be about $50. I'll have a pre-order link because this one looks pretty cool. I don't know if I can get a lot of pre-order links, but I got a pre-order link for this one. This is by Unexpected Games, and Corey Knizia is the designer. He used to be with FFG and did a lot of the old Star Wars and a lot of their good design there, and he's got his own studio now. But this looks pretty cool. So you're basically playing through kind of a lot of the first season of Mandalorian, and you're going to be playing out different characters. I think you can play up to 8 different characters. Has a really, it does feel a little bit like Imperial Assault, kind of the way that the game looks to be set up, and as you're kind of moving your pieces around and doing different missions. Cool little storybook that'll introduce each mission to you. And I guess each mission is probably going to be about 30 to 60 minutes, so not too hard to pick up and put down. 1 to 4 players. And like I said, this one should be about $50. Look forward to that one. Looks pretty cool. 25th Century Games will release Agueda. I probably didn't say that right, so I apologize. Agueda. I'm sorry, it's Agueda, City of Umbrellas. Easy for me to say. This will be out in May of this year, and it should be about $50. This is a cool thematic light tile laying game. It's got a really cool theme because this city does exist, and a lot of the stuff that you're doing in here, you could kind of do a search on Google and find some really cool pictures. So this has a beautiful art festival, kind of the Festival of the Umbrellas, I think it is, where they're kind of they decorate the city for the tourists and stuff. So in the game, you're going to be playing on the role of those festival artists, and you're going to decorate the city streets with your colorful umbrellas. Really cool looking pieces. They did a really good job with these pieces here. And you're going to be trying to attract the most tourists to the streets. And as an artist, you'll need to balance the request of the city, the shops, and the tourists to create the most stunning arrangement of umbrellas. Pretty cool little mechanics on there. It looks really nice on the table. 1 to 5 players. This is like a super filler, I guess you would call it, because it plays in or a 1 hour wonder, a little bit under an hour, and lighter weight, but it looks really, really cool. This is by Dustin Dobson and Milan Zivkovic. Looks really cool. Check that one out next month. FFG, back to them. FFG will release Jubilee Hero Pack for the Marvel Champions, the card game. I haven't done any of these packs, or I haven't seen them released in a while as far as the announcements, but Jubilee looks pretty cool. It comes with that Justice characteristic cards to go along with our character set. And also in this set is a bonus modular encounter set that features the Assassin Arcade. This will be out next month as well in May, and it'll be about $17. That's kind of that normal price there, but I just love Marvel Champions. I still play it. I don't have all of these that I've been talking about, but I know a lot of people have been waiting for a certain specific X-Men to come out or other characters, so it's pretty cool to see them still sticking with and putting out a lot of those, and still sticking up with putting out a lot of the different mission packs as well. Now, we're going to stick with Marvel, but we're going to head to a different company here. Upper Deck is going to release an expansion to one of my longtime favorite deck building games, Marvel Legendary deck building game. This will be the Weapon X expansion. I think this is something like the 40th or 45th. I think it's the 40th expansion that has come out. It's insane how many expansions. But this is one of those 100 cards expansion. This will be out in October, so I would say just in time for Essen, but it'll probably be over here just as well. With Upper Deck is pretty good about putting things out as well over here. This will be out. These are usually about $20 expansions, these 100 card expansions. You do need the base game for it. And they say it'll be, you've got the 100 card expansion. The Legendary Weapon X will include heroes and villains created by the Weapons program, new keywords, interactions, including an all new Enraging Wounds, which card type will help, will increase the intensity of battles. It's just a fun game. I mean, the setup and tear down takes a little while, but it's one of the coolest deck building games out there. It is still absolutely going strong. A pair of city building kind of tiling type games. First up, Devir Games will be released Cities. This is designed by Steve Finn and Phil Walker Harding, great designers. This one will be out in August, so right in time for Gen Con. This should be about $30. Now, Devir is really good. I say this all the time. They're really good at putting a lot of value in a big value in little boxes, or I say big game value in little boxes. This is a city building game with good table presence. And you're kind of planning your city and scoring your kind of your parks, your water spaces and city spaces. It looks really interesting. I kind of dig this sort of like the good table presence in a smaller game. And it does have again, a good table presence because you're kind of building things up on your tableau. as you're playing. So 2 to 4 players, plays in a little under an hour. Again, another super filler there for you. It looks decent. So another very similar vein of gameplay and probably kind of similar theme. Asmodee is going to be releasing, all these things that I just can't say today. This is Chandigarh. I guess that's probably how you say it. Chandigarh, another city building game set in North India. This one will be out next month, should be $35. I think Ludinova was the previous publisher and under the Asmodee umbrella, and they're bringing it over here. So a little bit about it. It says in 1951, the Indian government commissioned the renowned artist Le Corbusier to design a new capital for the state of Punjab, and thus Chandigarh was born. So this is another one that looks pretty interesting because of the way that you're playing. Now, it's got a cool set of mechanisms kind of as a city building, again, when you're getting your new player powers throughout the game, in this game, as you're building out your city, and those buildings using specific specialists. So I kind of love how when you're playing game, you get these specific player powers. Now, I'm not sure if these will be unique or there'll be just a set of them that everybody can kind of get as they're playing. But I do like it when you have things that I can do this and you can't. And that kind of helps to kind of bring you into the type of gameplay, or brings you or guides you into the way that you want to play the rest of the game. So I really like that sort of thing. Finally here, WizKids is going to release Tales of the Arthurian Knights. This is going to be a standalone expansion to the Tales of Arabian Knights that's out. That was out, 30, 40 years ago, and then they redid it probably within the last 5 to 10 years. This one will be out in November. This is in time for Essen. And it should be out over here. It says WizKids. You should see it over here as well first, but probably around the same time. This will be out in November. Like I said, this will be $80. Again, I said it's a standalone sequel to Tales of Arabian Nights. Now, I think they're going to have a promo meeple that should come in most of these as well when you get them. So you might want to get them right away when it comes there. So these types of games are very much kind of an event. It's kind of more of an event feel as you play because it's a storytelling game. And you're doing a lot of exploring the city and the wilderness and doing these quests. But the whole thing is from kind of storybooks. And so it's mostly skill checks and making choices like adventure type choices, like choose your own adventure type choices. Now, the newer edition of these games are great because they took the original Tales of Arabian Nights, which was good, but it was a bit RNG with some really weird scratch your head WTF moments where you would get some random dumb outcomes where you're just like, all right, I'm just done. I can't play anymore, and then people just keep playing. So that was not a lot of fun in the original, but when they redid everything to Tales of Arabian Nights, they really kind of made it much better, very well done, and much better than the original. So I really dig kind of that story first gameplay, and it's really cool. Like, I don't call it like a party game, but when you have a gathering, and you just kind of have that game, game night gathering where you've got maybe 3 or 4 people just want to do something different. This is a kind of cool change of pace. So this one should be really cool, set in that Arthurian era. So Tales of Arthurian Knights. So check that one out, especially if you like that sort of thing. Now, pretty sure Tales of Arabian Nights had a companion app. Now, I'm not sure if this one will have the app at launch or if they're even planning on it, because it definitely makes it a little bit better when you can have somebody else read things to you, but it's still it's fine. App or not, it'll be a good one. Let's head on over to crowdfunding. I've got Kickstarter, Backer Kit, and GameFound this week. So let's start off with Kickstarter, and we've got the Bouba, Kiki, and Stroop reprints. Now, Bouba Kiki is a kind of one game, and Stroop is the other game. This is by Grand Gamer Guilds. These are cool little kind of, again, these are party games. So these are interesting little party games that have 2 different games with still kind of similar things with really cool little thing. Now, they call it a Bouba Kiki effect. The Bouba Kiki effect is a psychological effect where it's the combination of sounds and shapes where when you have a word, it kind of reminds you of a certain shape. For example, as they say on a page, when presented with the words Bouba and Kiki, people associate Bouba with a rounded shape and Kiki with a spiky one. And it is kind of one of these phenomenon. So it's pretty cool little gameplay there. And it is kind of a really cool cooperative communication game that this one is. Whereas the other one's a little bit different. Again, it's still kind of a phenomenon with Stroop. Now it's all got its own thing. So the Stroop effect is another real thing, where it's that delay in reaction time. You probably have heard of this, but maybe you don't remember what it's called. But it's a lot of times when you have these cards. So you may have the word blue, but it's written in red. And when somebody asks you to say what color it is, it takes you a little bit longer because the word blue is there and you expect it to be blue, but it's red. So it's that kind of effect. So this is a pretty cool little duo of card games. You can get them both for $36, or you can get Bouba and Kiki, or Bouba / Kiki, which is just the one game for $20. So this is a pretty cool game. They do a really good job. Mark does a real good job with Grand Gamers Guild. So this is funded. Get in on this one. It's got less than a week to go. As the time you be here, this is probably going to be pretty quick, so you'll want to get in on this one. But again, that's a good price for a couple of pretty cool little card games. Especially because it's nice, fun light party game for people that, maybe not big gamers, but you want to whip something out on a game night with some neighbors or something. Next up, a little bit heavier here. This is called Earth Abundant, the Abundance expansion. Now, Earth was one of the best games of last year. It took that terraforming Mars type gameplay and kind of made it so there's not as much downtime. Things are going on everybody's turn. As somebody else is going, you still have to pay attention and do your things as you're building out your tableau. This is the Abundance expansion. This is going to add a few more things to it where it's got you got solo and team mode is also included in this. It says Abundance presents more ways to interact with other players, which is kind of cool. It says quick, satisfying strategic gameplay. That's fine. And seamless 6-player integration without added playtime. Nobody needs to play this game with 6 players. I'm sorry. 3 to 4 players would be great, but nobody needs to play this with 6 players. If you do, God bless you. Have fun with that Euro with 6 players. But anyway, this looks like a pretty cool expansion. Anyway, you can get in on this one for Earth and Abundance if you don't have the base game. It should be about $80 to get in on it, or the expansion itself is only $29, which is a really good pledge level. So this one has got about a week to go. Well funded. Should be some extras, I'm sure, in there as well. Next up, Power Vacuum, the Treasonous trick-taking game. This is going to be pretty quick by the time you hear this, so you may want to click on that link and check it out over there. This is from Malachi Ray Rempin. They did Roll Camera, which I really like, and I really love trick-taking games. I really think this adds a little bit something, kind of a little bit different in how you're playing trick-taking and kind of the way the suits work and the way the winning tricks and not winning tricks works. I really think it's pretty interesting. It's really hard to explain, but you definitely want to check out the link and see the video. It makes it and check out the page. It does a lot better than I could possibly ever do explaining it, but I do love this sort of thing, especially if you're a trick-taking machine like I am. I absolutely love all of these. Only $35 to get in on that, and there's some extra stuff in there, so it makes that worth it for you as well. So it is funded, and only a few days to go on this one. Next up, we're switching gears to way heavier. This is the 6th Realm. This is kind of a heavier, medium heavy. I think it's more heavier weight Euro. This is by Seth Jaffe and Matthew Dunstan. I absolutely love both of these dudes. Seth did Eminent Domain, Crusaders, Isle of Trains. Matthew Dunstan did Guild of Merchant Explorers, Elysium, which I love, Next Station London. So a lot of great games. Those two guys are solid dudes. I know them both. They're very cool designers. Now, this one is heavier. I would like to say kind of think of the Akatoka type of guys or guys and gals. Think of Coimbra. Think of Lorenzo Il Magnifico with that sort of kind of weight to it, where it's heavier, but there's a lot of really cool stuff. Even Feld kind of feels like that, where it's got that heavier weight, but a lot of cool stuff going on. And you definitely can feel both of these designers in this design, because I know Seth, when I mentioned Crusaders, has that kind of, there's some Crusader-esque elements in there, and there's some Elysium-esque elements in there. So this is a really cool one. 2.5 weeks to go. Well funded. I really like this one. I think I'm going to back this one myself. You can get in on this one for about $89 for the standard edition, and there'll be a deluxe edition, of course, for $109. Deluxe pack, all applicable. I'm not really sure what's in the deluxe pack, but it probably has to do with some of these bits and the dual layer boards that they look like they've got in there. So looks really good. So let's see, the standard edition, double-sided board, regular player tokens, and then the deluxe edition. It's got nicer tokens. Like I said, they're very nice tokens, and challenge tokens, and 12 stickers. I hate stickering things, but anyway, all these extra tokens look pretty nice for the deluxe edition. I'm guessing probably a little bit more. It says mostly just upgraded standard components. So if that's your thing, if you have $20 extra, it's probably not that big of a deal. But it looks great. I'm going to get in this one for the standard edition myself. Again, about 2 weeks to go. Well funded. Next up, Dragon Strike. This one kind of looks like, it says mount your dragon and ride into aerial combat in this fast-paced but deviously cunning board game using beautiful pre-painted dragons. Now, this kind of looks like X-Wing with dragons. I'm pretty sure FFG did this already with dragons. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I could have swore they were doing it. Maybe it just got too expensive to put that out. Maybe they just kind of discontinued this. But this looks a little bit different because I think it comes with different maps. Maybe expands it a little bit, but you can't beat things that are pre-painted, and the gameplay looks solid if that's up your alley. It is not cheap. There's a Dragon Rider edition, $125 for a 2 to 4 player battle. Dragon Knight, $185. That comes with where you can get the extra expansion. It goes up to 8 players, and it has another additional premium playmat and some extra boards and such. So that may be, if you aren't so inclined, you may want to get in on a Dragon Knight. There is a $400 level that a few people have gotten into, and it looks interesting, but just not up my alley. But again, if you are so inclined, that Dragon Knight, that 185 to expand the player count looks pretty cool. This has got about 4 weeks to go. It is funded. And it looks interesting. So tell me what you think about it. And if you have played that FFG one and know the name of it that I cannot remember off the top of my head, the Dragon X-Wing that they had put out, let me know. I'm sure somebody, Lagnus in the chat will probably know. He knows just about everything when it comes to this stuff, so he'll probably be able to tell you about what that is. And finally, with Kickstarter, this is an STL file thing. So I know normally with STL files, all you see are half-naked people and boobies and stuff. But this is a Skull Cave Dice Tower STL file where you can 3D print a pretty cool dice tower. So I love dice towers. I have a really nice wooden one that I've had for a while that my wife got me. But this looks like a pretty cool one. If you do like dice towers and you're really, if you've got a nice 3D printer, which a lot of people have nowadays, this one, it didn't really have a high goal. So, I mean, it had a $50 goal, so it needed maybe 2 people to back it. It doesn't have a lot of backers, but if you do like this sort of thing, again, and if you do 3D print stuff, I'd love to see some pictures if you end up getting this and back it, so and then print it out. So I'd love to check out what you've got and see if this one is any good. Probably worth it. Each one of these is only really about $20. I think these STL files to get. There are something, there is a couple of merchants licensed. I guess somebody's going to probably print these out and sell them themselves. But anyway, let me know if you've gotten a lot of STL files off of Kickstarter or anywhere else, or if you've got a dice tower that you've printed out yourself that you like, because I love to see those sort of things. So I'd love to see in the Major Spoilers Discord of that. 2 more left. I will cut everything short because I'm talking a little bit too much today. So the Munchkin Big Box is on backer kit. Now this is awesome. This is what we all love. This is well funded, nearly $1 million of its goal. This is from Steve Jackson Games, of course. This is the ultimate Munchkin collection. And it's awesome. There's a lot of crap. There's 500 or 600 cards in that. You can get in on it for a lot of different ways. There are retail pledges. There's a lot of stuff in here. And if you do love playing Munchkin, and I know you do, this is going to be a really cool thing, because I know if you play it a lot, I know my cards have gotten just absolutely bamboozled and they're just nasty. So this is probably a pretty cool way to get a bigger box and kind of re-get my set going here. So definitely check that out. I'll have a link obviously in there to the Munchkin Big Box, the ultimate Munchkin collection. And finally, I like tableau builders with interesting themes. And of course, the thing that we've seen a lot in the last couple of years is anthropomorphic animals, and this is no different. This is called Snowcrest by Grail Games. This is a kind of a tableau builder that looks interesting. Only $37 to get in on this one. It looks decent. So the core box and stretch goals in there. So definitely let me know if you like this one, or if you once you get this one. You could also get the Scholar Pledge, which gives you a mini expansion as well, and a wooden token upgrade pack. I actually might want to do that. I love upgraded tokens. They're great. Anyway, check this one out. I really enjoy this one. I really enjoy tableau builders, and the art looks nice in this one, and gameplay looks pretty solid. Again, that is Snowcrest, and I'll have a link, as always, to all of these things in the show notes. Thanks for joining me today. If you think you've got any news that you think I'd like to feature, shoot me a message at GeekJockDan on Twitter. And please check out MajorSpoilers.com for more content by Steven and the rest of the Major Spoilers crew. And of course, check out my show, the Geek All Stars Podcast, where I do a lot of rambling like I did today. So hopefully you enjoy that sort of thing and check out my show. As always, I'm Dan, the Board Game Man, and I'll see everyone in a couple of weeks for another Munchkin Minute.
This podcast is copyright 2024 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.